Hello everyone, I'm Sean E, and today I'm going to be telling you what has to be the scariest thing that has ever happened to me in my life, and this is the story. And I'll say that when it happened, I actually wasn't afraid at all, and I'm not saying that to express my high levels of testosterone, courage, and manliness, but it'll make sense once I tell you the story. But when it happened, I wasn't afraid at all, which is very good. But in retrospect, it was pretty terrifying situation to be in. Sorry, I'm still a little sick with a little cough. So let's get into it. This happened to me about a month and a half or 2 months ago, and it was a Tuesday night, and I had just finished. So I was working on my schoolwork, and I'm in college, and so I have a lot of it, and I realized that I had to read a 179-page paper, in like I had to read it by the end of the next day. So this was Tuesday night. I had to have it read by the end of Wednesday, and I think I said paper, but I meant book. So a 179-page book. So it was around 11 o'clock, and my roommate had left. It was 10 o'clock actually. My roommate had left the room. So normally, any other night, I would have taken this opportunity to go to bed and all alone, which is nice and peaceful. But because I had this work to do, I didn't get that luxury. So I continued to read this book, and I ended up getting to bed around maybe 11 o'clock, I think, 11:30 or so, after knocking out a handful of the book. Right after I went to bed, or got into bed, my roommate got back, and he went to bed shortly after as well, I believe. And so I eventually doze off to sleep, and I usually, before I go to sleep, ironically, put in my earbuds and listen to scary stories on YouTube. I'm a big fan of Lazy Masquerade and B-Busta and Phantom Librarian. I do enjoy those channels quite a bit. So it's about 3:10 in the morning now, Wednesday morning, and I wake up and I hear a bunch of voices saying, "Is Sean there? Is Sean there? Is Sean here?" And I sit up immediately, of course. I've just woken up to this, and I look to my side, and there's not one, not two, but three strangers in the middle of my room staring up at me in the dark. And I'm up in my bed, it's sort of like a bunk bed, but it's just my one bed. So below my bed is my desk and everything. So I'm high up. And these three strangers, two men and one woman, are in my room, in the middle of the room, staring up at me. And one of them is yelling, seeing if I'm here. And I say, yes, I'm here. And he keeps asking, "Is Sean here? Is Sean here?" I say, I'm right here. And so he's asked that a few times, and I answer him a few times. And through this conversation, it's basically just me and this one guy while the other two are talking. The other two intruders are talking amongst themselves. And so this guy... so now I'm sitting up in my bed. I've been up for all of 20 seconds now, and this guy's talking to me. And at this point, I'm totally clueless. Like, I'm not totally afraid or hostile. I'm just totally docile. I just woke up. I've got no clue what's going on. And he says to me, he's like, and so I'm looking down at him now, but not that far. It's a pretty tall guy. And he says to me, "Were you at Sorrentino's last night? Either last night or tonight. I don't know which he said, one or the other." I said, "No, I got no clue who Sorrentino is." and he says again, "Were you at Sorrentino's?" "No, wasn't at Sorrentino's," I say to him again. And again, like, I'm totally docile, so I'm just like, no, it wasn't at Sorrentino's. And and the other two are rambling to each other, and one of them says something about a pedophile. I can't remember what they said, but they mentioned a pedophile. And so at this point, like, I've been up for maybe half a minute now. It's totally out of it. So I'm thinking maybe there's an escaped pedophile from prison in my dorm, and it's like on some emergency alert. Like, I've got no clue what's going on. So these ridiculous thoughts are going through my head while I'm trying to piece together what the hell's going on. And so, like, I'm not hostile at all towards these people, because I have no clue what's going on. Not a clue in the world. And he asked me. So I keep telling him, no, I wasn't at Sorrentino's. And then he asked me, did you break Sorrentino's table? I said, no. He's like, did you break Sorrentino's table? No. Did you break his table? No, didn't break Sorrentino's table. Tell him a few times. The other two are still rambling. And I don't remember how hostile the guy was in his questioning. I don't think he was as hostile as I might be making him sound. I don't really remember, honestly. I was pretty tired. But, so he starts looking around the room after he asked me these questions, and he looks up to the bunk bed above my roommate, because we live in a triple, and there's only two of us. So there's this empty bed above where my roommate sleeps, and he says, who's in that bed? And I say, nobody. He's like, who sleeps there? I was like, no, nobody sleeps there. There's just two of us. And he's like, why isn't there anybody in that bed? And I'm like, because there's only two of us. And he says again, who sleeps in that bed? There's no one in the bed. Nobody sleeps in that bed. Nobody uses the bed. There's two of us in this room. And so the guy's looking around, and he's like, yeah, he says, yeah, I used to live here. And I was like, oh really? He's like, yeah. And he looks up at me, and he's like, yeah, well, sorry. And he shakes my hand, and I bid them a good night. And all three of them exit my room. And so I'm sitting in my bed now. I've been up for all of 30 seconds, and this whole event has just taken place. And I just lay back down in my bed like, what the hell just happened? No idea. I couldn't believe it. I started messaging. Some people sent some text like, is anyone up? I cannot believe what just happened. I just couldn't believe it. And I knew, like, when I wake up or when I get up in the morning, I'm not gonna, like, I'll be wondering if this actually happened or not. But the door was unlocked, so these three strangers just walked right into my room in the middle of the night. And so one possibility is that my brother hypothesized that, and this is probably very likely, that they were very intoxicated, and that this guy that talked to me wanted to show his friends his old room, so they thought it'd be a good idea to just go and walk in, and our names are on the outside of the doors, so I didn't really think much about him knowing my name. But just absolutely ridiculous. I just thought, why does this happen to me? Because I don't do anything at college, I don't go anywhere or talk to anyone, so why did this happen to me? Very peculiar. I couldn't believe it. But like, if I was up doing homework and I was up really late doing work and that happened, I would have freaked out. My biggest fear in my life from a kid to now has always been home intruders, so this was like, a nightmare come true. So I'm just very glad that I handled it how I did, and I didn't freak out. And that's not, like, I just had no idea what was going on, so I wouldn't have been in a very good position to be hostile, even if I wanted to be, since I just woke up. But really creepy, unsettling stuff to think about, that these three people outside my room at the ass crack of dawn, and they just decide to waltz on in, and so they do, and then they're asking. It was just crazy. I couldn't believe it. But so that's, I think, the scariest thing that's happened to me in my life. It's been a pretty tame ride up until this point. Hopefully it continues to go that way. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story. If you didn't know, that video on April Fool's was an April Fool's joke, believe it or not. So I hope those of you who watched it at least got a giggle out of it. And yeah, I hope you don't mind doing a story here instead of music or anything. But stories and music are very very intertwined, very important to each other. And I don't want to just be a jukebox, so I wanted to tell this story, and haven't told it in a while, so I hope that I told it well, and I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comments if you'd like to hear more sort of story videos. And next Sunday, I'm hoping, will be an announcement which will kind of explain why there hasn't been a whole lot of original music on the channel lately. And so I'm excited about that. Thursday, I don't know what we'll do, but I will see you then. Thank you all very much for watching. Be sure to subscribe for new videos every Sunday and Thursday, and I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.